All right, Talanoa Hufanga is back out on the practice field for the 49ers with a club. Surgically repaired wrist, torn ligament there. Still on injured reserve, but Hufanga's practice window has been opened. 49ers can certainly use some better safety play. Jair Brown especially has really been struggling. And maybe Talanoa Hufanga is going to be back sooner rather than later. He's also a pending free agent. So I think that the 49ers want to collect as much intel on him and on somebody like Dre Greenlaw, who also happens to be a pending free agent. And Greenlaw has been out of practice now for the second straight week in his return to play practice window. Can last 3 weeks for Greenlaw, 3 weeks from today for Talanoa Hufanga. Full practice report for you. No Nick Bosa. Kyle Shanahan asked if Bosa might be done for the year, or if he's certain that Bosa can return this season. And Kyle Shanahan said, "I'm not God." It reminded me of the pre-draft 2021 conversation when he was asked if Jimmy Garoppolo would 100% be on the roster after the draft. And Kyle Shanahan said, "Well, I can't guarantee that, any of us will be alive on the Monday after the draft." So whenever you ask Kyle Shanahan an absolute question like that, I think that he is honest in his responses. And he says, "Yeah, I'm not God. I don't know if that's going to be 100% certainty." But he does say that Nick Bosa will have a chance to return this week. So as the oblique heals, it'll be closer and closer for Nick Bosa. Fred Warner today emphasized that it is his intent to finish this season, even though he does have a fractured ankle, even though that ankle obviously won't fully heal until he shuts it down. So these guys are going to be fighting to the finish. And I think that's important from a cultural perspective from a football team. A lot of fans, they play it on video game mode and they sit at home and they say, shut him down, lose this game on purpose, tank here. Sorry, that's not how football, sport played by grown men, works. You have to keep that 100% competitive vibe, foot on the gas pedal throughout the entire season. And the 49ers have been through rougher seasons before. 2020 is a great example. If you fight through them the right way, you're way more likely to come out on the other side when luck is more in your favor, winning football games and getting back to NFC championships, getting back to Super Bowls. So that's how Fred Warner is approaching this. No Trent Williams on the practice field today either with the ankle injury. Notable that Aaron Banks is still in the concussion protocol, not back out of practice. That does, make it more likely that Ben Bartch is the starting left guard for the 49ers for the second straight week after Ben Bartch played very well for the 49ers in Buffalo. Jordan Mason is not officially on IR yet, and the 49ers made the move today that sent Kevin Givens to IR but didn't put Mason on it. So I asked Kyle Shanahan, does that mean that the prognosis on Mason is better than it had been in the past? And he said no. 49ers are still planning on putting Mason on IR. I think that they're gauging the Greenlaw and the Hufanga practices this week, seeing if one of those two might be available to be activated to the 53-man roster. And if that's the case, then they'll make the Mason IR move at the same time that they make the activation of somebody like Hufanga or Dre Greenlaw. That's just my hunch, but just because Mason isn't on IR doesn't mean that he's not going to be there. Kyle Shanahan said the 49ers will be making that move at some point. Also no Demetrius Flanagan-Foles. Back to practice today, Deommodore Lenoir with the knee. I think it was a deep bone bruise in his knee that kept him out last week. He was back in a limited fashion. And obviously Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw both limited for the 49ers as well. Kyle Shanahan said the last 2 weeks, the run defense has been as bad as it gets. He's pulled no punches. Listen, there's so much talk about Brock Purdy, and as usual, it's misguided. People don't know how to analyze the quarterback position. They clump everything together. Joe Burrow, for example, in Cincinnati, he's having one of his best seasons statistically, yet the Bengals aren't winning games. It's a team sport. Brock Purdy's only dropped to number 7 in QBR, despite the total mess around him. The Brandon Ayuk holdout, the Brandon Ayuk ACL tear, all the other injuries, Deebo Samuel's pneumonia. Purdy is still delivering top-tier efficiency, adjusted EPA, number 5. Like, he's still in that 5 to 7 range, and I don't think any quarterback in the NFL would be higher than that ranking in those statistics if they were dealing with the same situation as Brock Purdy has been dealing with this season. So, you look at that, and you've got to just realize that the 49ers have issues that stretch beyond the quarterback position or the offense. And one of those is the run defense that Kyle Shanahan was talking about. It's as bad as it can get over the past 2 weeks. They are not playing with a good defense right now, especially while Nick Bosa is out. I think while Nick Bosa is out, that's what's caused that defense to crater. So I'm going to talk about Purdy tonight. We're going to do a show where we just look at the facts objectively. Where does Purdy rank? What does the data tell us? What does the tape tell us? Yes, he's still in line for a big contract extension. I think that one of the things I can tease right now is the 49ers, they finally ran some screen passes, but maybe only because it was snowing in Buffalo. The degree of difficulty for Brock Purdy has gotten a lot harder this year. I think Kyle Shanahan hadn't been good as making it easy for his quarterbacks, or as easy as possible, because it's never easy to play QB in the NFL. So that's something that we'll delve into. We've been delving into the run defense for the 49ers. It's obviously been terrible. Fred Warner was talking about that today. He yanked himself into the game on Sunday late with about 7 minutes to go. The 49ers wanted to put the backups in. You know, they're waving the white flag. Fred Warner refused, essentially, and went into the game, begged Kyle Shanahan to give him another series because he wanted to play this out. He wants to set the right tone, even on that broken ankle. Then after one play, Kyle Shanahan said, no, you're coming out. And they replaced Warner with Jalen Graham. But veterans like Fred Warner dying to fix this for the 49ers, at least to set that tone for 2025. But they're not thinking to the end of the season. They're thinking about this next week against the Chicago Bears when Caleb Williams and company come back into town. Also today, out of practice, got our first look at Israel Abanikanda, the running back that the 49ers picked up off of waivers from the New York Jets. He gets jersey number 47. That's John Lynch's old number. Not really a coveted number for running backs, but it will be interesting to see how Abanikanda, somebody who the 49ers were high on when he was coming out of Pitt just a couple of years ago in the draft. It'll be interesting to see how he fits into their zone running scheme, and also how he catches the football coming out of the backfield, because I think that it's really important, not just for Brock Purdy and the ease of playing the quarterback position, the layups there, but I think it's important for Kyle Shanahan's confidence exiting this year to reincorporate some of the layups in the pass game. And those often involve running backs having to catch the football coming out of the backfield. Christian McCaffrey also did share a message, which I will tack on to the end of this video. First, check out some footage from practice, a Fred Warner interview, and then we'll get to Christian McCaffrey's words on Instagram.
I mean, it's been so frustrating because I know what it's supposed to look like, and that's not it. Having played dominant defense here for so long, you know what it's supposed to look like, and you think that you're doing things the right way throughout the week to give yourself the best chance to go out there and play dominant and chance of winning the game. And it's like things aren't going how you want them to, and so you got to continue to look internal to see how you can be better individually, and then look as a group how to be better, and just got to be on it, got to execute better.
To follow up on that, I asked Devo similarly, how hard is it to kind of bounce back, given all that you just said, that you guys come out here and do all the things that you feel like you're supposed to do, but then you go out and it's unrewarding to lose. How hard is it to find a way to bounce back this season, given the state that this team is in at this point?
I mean, the greatest feeling in the world is to win. And so, I mean, you have everything ahead of you to just win one game. You know what I'm saying? We're not looking ahead at anything else of 5 games left, of playoff hopes, of anything. It's honestly like, hey, let's just get back to like winning a football game. You know what I'm saying? Or even giving ourselves a chance to win a game, because being in 2 blowout losses is like the worst feeling in the world. So just getting a chance to go back out there and win.
With 7:55 left, you guys came out onto the field for your last defensive series, and you were out there, and it seemed like, and I'm watching from the press box, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm seeing, but it seemed like Jalen Graham went out to take your place, and you sent him back to the sideline. Is that right? And why was it important for you to be out there, at least to begin that final series?
I mean, I wanted to be out there the rest of the game. The coaches knew that, but at the end of the day, it wasn't my decision. They wanted to protect me from myself. I begged Kyle to go in, and he let me go in, and then after one play, he decided it's not worth it, so that's when he took me out.
With Christian getting hurt, your injury, with all the other ones that you've had, has it felt like a little bit of you can't catch a break with the injury stuff?
It hasn't. Injuries haven't gone our way, especially at specific positions where at key starters, ones that have a big effect on the game. But at the end of the day, it's the NFL. A lot of teams are dealing with worse than what we're dealing with, right? And so, I'm just always trying to look to find a way to win a game with who we got out there. It's all at the end of the day. We got 11 NFL players on our side of the ball, so we got to go.
Caleb Williams, and what kind of challenge did you present you guys?
I think Caleb's done a really great job, honestly. Protecting the football, no interceptions over the last 6 games. Actually reading defenses and putting the ball where it needs to go. I think he's done a great job, and obviously he has the legs to be able to extend plays and make things happen there. So we got to just try and make his life hard on Sunday.
You're going against a team with the coaching change they're going through. Do you expect a sort of energy boost from them with the change, or what do you sort of anticipate out of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I know they've been going through a rough patch themselves. Being in a bunch of close games against really good football teams. And I don't know how it is over there because obviously I'm not there. But anytime that sort of thing happens with a coach, a team wants to just go out there and play free, nothing to lose. Of course they're going to bring everything against us.
Regardless, the defense has had some real challenges. How are you guys working on to close that out?
It comes down to everybody just doing their job, as simple as it sounds. I mean, there's plays in there. We're just not aligned. We're not all on the same page when it comes to the call and different things like that. We as players just got to be on it. We got to be on it, not just on the first series, not the second series, like all the way through a game. And we got to hold ourselves to a high standard and play exactly how we know how to play.
Is it partially just sticking with your assignments and doing what you're supposed to as opposed to trying to make a play sometimes?
I mean, it's a combination of things, but like I said, at the end of the day, like the small details that we're giving up, like that should be non-negotiables, are showing up there in terms of mistakes being made. So just being on it, we can put up with a guy on their team making an outstanding play, but at the end of the day, if we're beating ourselves, we're never going to give ourselves a chance to win.
Isaac Ringo was saying that you're a veteran guy that he's come to for advice and ask questions. What have been your impressions of Isaac and kind of his readiness to step into a bigger role now?
Yeah, I think Isaac's done a great job. I think our entire rookie class as a whole has done an awesome job of just coming in and being prepared, having the right mindset of my moment can come at any time. We've used Isaac a ton this season, but now it's his turn to really take a hold of that position.
Fred, asking because your ankle, are you intent on finishing this season regardless of how this plays out?
Oh, Eric, you sly dog. Yes, I am intentful on finishing out the year. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Good.
Thank you.